So, the film begins in 1964. We find Lorraine and her husband Ed inside a tea shop. A girl had called them there because her father claimed the shop possessed evil forces. The girl didn't believe it, but then one day, for no apparent reason, her father hanged himself. From that day on, evil forces began to haunt the girl. That's why the girl had called Lorraine there. Lorraine went inside, saw a mirror, and sensed that it contained a frightened soul, along with some evil energies. Lorraine touched the mirror and began to see strange omens in it, as if the evil forces were trying to possess Lorraine's unborn child. She was terrified. Suddenly, a storm and rain began outside. Lorraine began experiencing stomach pains and was admitted to the hospital. Lorraine gave birth to a daughter, but she was stillborn. As soon as the baby was born, many paranormal events occurred in the hospital. Lights flickered and then went off, and objects broke during a violent storm, scaring even the doctors. Lorraine sensed the same evil energy that was inside the mirror. It was the same evil energy causing everything that was happening. Crying, Lorraine prayed to God to save her daughter, and surprisingly, a minute later, the baby was alive. Given the conditions in which this child was born, it was impossible for her to be a normal human being. Like her mother, she had been seeing evil visions since childhood, which frightened her. Wanting to keep her daughter's life normal, Lorraine explained that these things were nothing more than hallucinations and taught her some magical spells that would ward off these things. Lorraine hadn't looked at the mirror case since Judy was born, as its evil energy was threatening to harm her daughter, and Lorraine wanted to keep her away from it. Although Lorraine and Ed had solved thousands of paranormal cases throughout their lives, they had always kept Judy away from it. The movie now flashes forward approximately 22 years. We see John's family, consisting of 9 members, having just moved into a new house. John brings his daughter an antique mirror as a gift, the same evil mirror we saw at the beginning of the movie. As soon as it arrives, the mirror's evil energy begins to manifest. As they prepare to cut the cake together, the candles suddenly go out, and at the same time, the ceiling collapses and falls on them, severely injuring John's daughter. At this point, the scene cuts to a true story, revealing that this was the most dangerous paranormal incident in Lorraine and Ed's lives, deeply impacting them. The movie resumes, and we see Lorraine at home, having dinner with her family. She then sees a hand of evil energy on Judy's daughter's shoulder, which Judy can also see. Lorraine gestures to her to relax and chants the same spell she used to ward off evil energy. Judy herself recites it, and the hand disappears. But for the first time, Lorraine was frightened by all this, as she sensed it was the same powerful energy that appeared to Judy when she was born. The scene cuts back to the house where the mirror was left. A doll begins to levitate and make noises, all of which unfold before John's daughter's eyes. In the same house, we also see Janet, John's son's wife. She also hears footsteps behind her while washing clothes. Next, we see Janet in the kitchen. She's talking on the phone when someone from behind starts pulling her phone line. She thought it might be the children, but there were no children there. Janet becomes extremely frightened after realizing this. It's shown that John's daughter, who saw the doll flying in the air, also sees an old ghost behind the doll. The children are so frightened that when John, her father, and her brother returned home that night, she tells them everything. Neither of them believes her, but Janet is convinced that something is wrong with this house because strange things have been happening to her since morning. Here we see Heather, on whom the ceiling first collapsed. She tells her sister, "I don't like this mirror, especially the wax seal on it. It really scares me." Although her sister teases her after hearing this, this, she then helps Heather, and they take the mirror out of the house. They take it outside to throw it away. In the morning, it's shown that the mirror was being taken away by the municipal workers. As soon as the mirror falls inside the municipal truck, it breaks. Meanwhile, on the other side, John's daughter begins to vomit blood, and pieces of the mirror that broke in the truck begin to come out of her mouth. Seeing the girl's condition, they take her to the doctor, but now everyone is convinced that something is definitely wrong with this house. The scene cuts to Ed, Lorraine's husband, at the doctor, where the doctor tells him that his heart is no longer in good condition. His heart won't be able to withstand another heart attack. Therefore, he needs to take extra care of himself and stop everything he does. After all this, Ed returns home, and his daughter, Judy, tells him that she invited a friend to her birthday party whom she wants to marry. The next day, at her birthday party, we see Judy accompanied by her friend Tony. During this party, Ed takes all the guests to his museum, where he has captured evil energies within artifacts. Simply put, it's like a djinn being trapped in a bottle. Similarly, he captured evil energies in these paintings. All the guests go with Ed to see his museum, but Tony doesn't go because he's too scared. He goes to Judy's room, and as soon as Judy enters, she sees the Annabelle doll, a doll she's always so scared of, sitting on her rocking chair. This time, with Tony by her side, she quickly regains control and breaks out of Annabelle's influence. Just then, Lorraine arrives, telling Tony that Ed is waiting for him in the playroom. Then she asks Judy, "What's going on with you these days? Why are you so scared?" Judy tells her, "Mom, I don't know what's going on." Lorraine then tells her, "I know you're a medium. You can sense such things, but remember one thing, never get involved in these things, because these things have ruined my life." Shortly after, Tony talks to Lorraine about Judy and their marriage, and even proposes to Judy. Meanwhile, we see that the church priest has come to talk to Lorraine and Ed about a family in deep distress. He was actually talking about John's family, whose home has been experiencing some very scary, terrifying events. He requests Lorraine and Ed to help. Ed agrees, but Lorraine refuses, as she's only focused on her daughter's wedding. The scene cuts to the same house, where everyone is deeply troubled. John and his son also return home, looking very distressed. John's daughter, who had the glass sticking out of her mouth, was so frightened that she began to fight with John, demanding they all be taken out of the house and into a hotel. However, John and his son didn't have enough money to accommodate everyone. They were forced to stay in the house, so they all went to sleep. As midnight passed, John's son's health began to deteriorate. We saw him suspended above his bed in the middle of the night, suspended in mid-air, and some evil energy was strangling him by the throat, causing his condition to deteriorate significantly. In the morning, we see John's son, who had the ceiling collapse on him earlier that day, watching a video of that day and suddenly becoming frightened because he saw the entity standing next to him in the video who had delivered the candles. Now, since the girl had seen the same entity in the video, that entity suddenly appeared before her. It was a tall man with long hair, and in a rage, he approached her with an axe, ready to kill her. The girl screamed loudly, and her scream woke everyone in the house. Such a terrifying scene had happened to two people at the same time, terrifying them all. That's why, in the morning, Janet and her husband Jack called the media and shared their problems with them. Their story quickly became a popular topic about how a family is being tormented by evil energies. It's shown that Lorraine was at a boutique to pick out Judy's wedding dress. The designer was Lorraine's friend. She was also listening to Janet's interview on a news channel at the same time. But when Lorraine arrived, she realized that she was there. She turned off the news channel because she didn't want to lose her customer. While Judy was in the changing room to check her dress, someone knocked on the door.
Judy thought it was her mother. As she opened the door, she saw the ghost of the same old lady we'd seen earlier at Janet's house. The ghost had grabbed Judy to the throat as soon as it arrived, and Judy was about to die. But then, Judy began casting her magical spells, causing the ghost to disappear. Judy breathed a sigh of relief, but when she looked in the mirror, she became even more frightened. Lorraine, who had come in to check Judy's dress, also saw this and was terrified. We then returned to the same family, where John's wife had become very ill and was having a heart attack. Her condition worsens to the point where she's rushed to the hospital. Meanwhile, we learned that Lorraine's closest friend, the father, had come to the church unannounced to help the family. He went to the basement to cast some spells to ward off evil energy. As he poured holy water into the basement, the water suddenly evaporated. The water vaporized, and the father saw something in the vapor, which frightened him. He promised the family he would return, and immediately went to meet Ed. Ed's family wasn't at home at the time, so he decided to sit and wait. As he sat down, his nose started bleeding, and the phone rang. He answered the phone, and a hushed voice told him that his work was finished and he could leave. The call ended, and the doors and lights in the room suddenly shut off. The entire room goes dark, and we see that the knobs in the room have also turned upside down. The knob that previously held the Holy Cross also turns upside down, a sign that evil energy has taken over the room. Father saw this demon entering. He picks up the crucifix to protect himself, but his crucifix also catches fire. The burning of the crucifix causes Father to panic and become frightened for a minute. His sheer panic leads to the evil energy possessing him as well, and he strangles himself with a wire inside. Lorraine and Ed are also deeply saddened and shocked by his death. When Judy touches Father's grave at Father's funeral, she sees a strange vision. She then questions the church members about where Father went before his death. The church members tell her about John's family. The next scene shows Lorraine at home. While washing dishes, she sees a strange, terrifying vision. She notices Judy's locket has fallen into the water, and instead of her picture, there's blood in it. Suddenly, the entire kitchen is filled with blood. Lorraine is terrified by this vision as Ed holds her. Lorraine is terrified knowing the meaning of this vision, that her daughter, Judy's life is now in danger. Just then, Judy's fiancé arrives and informs them that Judy has gone to John's house, whose house is imbued with evil energies. Lorraine tells Ed that they won't take any action, they'll just pick up Judy from there and return. However, when they arrive, they find Jack and Janet already waiting for them. They're overjoyed by their arrival and declare that finally someone expert has come to their aid. They explain that they went to the media to seek help, but people have started making strange accusations against them, as if they're staging this whole thing. Despite all this, Lorraine wants to leave, determined to remain firm in her decision. But Judy stops her and says, "You've helped thousands of people, so why don't we help this family?" She says, "Look, the secret of Father's death is hidden in their house, and I want you both to help them." Lorraine and Ed agree to help. Ed brings the supplies he needs and, turning on his recorder, begins interviewing the family about what happened. Lorraine tries to feel something by touching things, while Judy takes all the children into a room to find out what happened. Don't panic about things. While investigating this house, Lorraine goes upstairs and sees a doll behind Judy. She had felt the doll moving, but before she could take it, a girl came and took it away. Then Lorraine goes into a room where she feels a hand moving under the sheets, and she realizes that evil energy is definitely somewhere here. It was coming down from above. Then we see 3 strange holes in the door, which are transparent.
Looking at these holes, Lorraine understands the whole story and goes to tell Ed that there are actually 3 spirits inside this house: a woman, her daughter, and her husband. Lorraine tells Ed that the husband who lived in this house was extremely cruel. He used to abuse his wife, and his wife also used to earn money. In an attempt to escape all this, the man's wife befriends someone else, and when the man learns of this, he takes an axe in a rage and brutally kills his wife and daughter, after which he takes his own life. This long-haired man is the same ghost we've seen before in front of John's daughter. Hearing this, Ed says, "These are just ordinary spirits. There's nothing to be afraid of. We've already brought so many souls to their end and locked them up, so this isn't difficult for us." Lorraine then explains, the story isn't that simple. These 3 ghosts are merely puppets, and there's another more powerful evil energy driving them to evil or other evil deeds. Lorraine explains, "I can't see it, and that's the most difficult and stressful thing." Ed now asks her, if there's an evil energy here, why hasn't it possessed anyone in this house? Ed says, "Look, in all the cases we've solved before, the evil energy has possessed someone. What's so new about this case?" The scene cuts to show Judy hearing her mother's voice from upstairs. Following the voice, she goes up to the attic, where we're shown the same mirror from the beginning of the movie, which contained the evil energy. We also learned from Lorraine's vision at the beginning of the movie that the evil energy desires Lorraine's daughter, Judy. Finally, the mystery begins to unravel, revealing why the evil energy didn't possess them all. It was simply trying to scare them all into bringing Lorraine and Judy here so it could meet Judy. Here, Judy touches the mirror, and a strange commotion erupts in the room. A square appears to read, "Miss Me." Miss Me was always used with the Annabelle doll, and Miss Me was written because Judy was terrified of the Annabelle doll. This evil energy exploited Judy's fear. Judy, frightened, went into another room, and the Annabelle doll lying there suddenly grew much larger. Judy, frightened again, was about to leave the room and descend when someone knocked her down the stairs. Hearing Judy's fall, everyone rushes over, and Judy tells Lorraine, "Mom, there's something up in the attic." Lorraine, upon reaching the mirror, is terrified because the thing she's been running from all her life, protecting her daughter, is now after them. Touching the mirror, she becomes even more terrified, as the mirror gives her an even more dangerous feeling. Finally, they tell everyone the story of this mirror, that they found it at the very beginning of their career. Lorraine was terrified by the visions of that day, and because her daughter had narrowly escaped death, they were afraid of this mirror and never solved the case. They never tried to find out what happened to the girl who called them for help, because the real evil was in that mirror. So they decided to take the mirror to their home museum, where they have already kept many similar objects. They begin preparing to take the mirror away, while the dog begins barking incessantly. They tied a sheet over the mirror and put several belts on it to prevent the sheet from coming off and prevent them from looking inside. If they had lifted the mirror, they would have done it, but suddenly the mirror becomes extremely heavy. Ed knew it was the evil one who was behind this, as he didn't want the mirror to be taken out of the house. Tony, whose job was to start the car, couldn't start it, and Judy's health was deteriorating. Meanwhile, we're shown that the belts on the mirror are unraveling, and the covering suddenly falls off, revealing Jack inside. As he looks into the mirror, the evil energy overwhelms him, lifting him up and throwing him down the stairs. Ed alone is unable to hold the mirror, and it falls to the ground. It's then shown that Tony had just started the car and brought it to the house, when the ghost of the old lady who nearly caused the accident appeared in front of his car.
Lorraine, hearing the commotion, came out and felt something strange. She immediately went to see Judy. As soon as Lorraine arrived, the evil energy said, "Come on, Lorraine, come on. We've been waiting for you and Judy for so long. Judy is ours, and we'll take her." Before Lorraine could do anything, Judy, in a fit of rage, pushed Lorraine away, sending her plummeting into the basement. Lorraine was knocked unconscious by this, and a dog barked furiously at the scene, so Judy picked it up and threw it away. Just then, Ed arrived. Seeing Judy's condition, he tried to comfort her, telling her, "Judy, come to your senses. You have so much strength within you that you can fight this evil." Judy doesn't come to her senses. Instead, the evil energy attacked Ed, somehow manipulating his heart. Ed's condition deteriorated, leading to another heart attack. While trying to get his medicine, it falls out of his pocket. Tony, who wanted to enter the house from the outside, found all the doors locked and chose the basement. There we see Lorraine along with the same axe-wielding ghost who was about to kill her, but Tony arrived just in time to save her. At this point, we also see the ghost's wife, the ghost who helped Tony open the basement door and enter the house. Tony then takes Lorraine upstairs, where we see that Ed has also retrieved his medicine and is feeling better. They are now ready to fight the evil entity, knowing that the evil entity is after Judy. Ed and Lorraine send the entire family out of the house and begin their mission to save their daughter Judy. It's shown that the evil entity had Judy suspended in the air. As soon as they arrived, the entity threw Judy down, and Judy stopped breathing. They administered CPR to Judy, and Ed's health also began to deteriorate. Lorraine saw the evil entity's hand on her shoulder, but instead of panicking, she began chanting some spells. This temporarily released the evil entity from Judy and Ed. The evil entity had released them both, but now it had captured Tony. The mirror suddenly rose, spun rapidly around the room, and fell on Tony. Seeing all this, Ed quickly began an exorcism, picking up his Bible and began reading it. Seeing the exorcism, the evil entity became so enraged that he set Ed's Bible on fire, burning his hand.
He even silenced Ed with his power. But Ed didn't give up so easily. He regained his composure and began reciting words from the Bible again. Mustering courage, Ed placed the same Bible on the mirror, causing the evil entity to suffer even more. To save himself from this suffering, he wanted to expel them all from the room, but they remained there. Judy and Lorraine understood that their magical spell would no longer work. Now they would have to show their inner strength. So, together, they placed their hands on the mirror along with the Bible and began reciting something. Thus, the evil was trapped within the mirror, and their lives returned to normal. Judy, Lorraine, and John's entire family were thus saved from the evil entity. At the end of the movie, we see Tony and Judy's wedding. Shortly after, Lorraine tells Ed that she had seen the reality of her future. They've seen them become grandparents, and their lives have become much easier. They're giving interviews about their cases, and now everyone believes their stories. According to Lorraine Warren, this is exactly what happened. After years, people started believing their stories. Footage from many of their cases is also shown, and the movie ends with this.